Expedition 10. Now, with this expedition is actually one of the most frustrating expeditions I have personally ever encountered. Not only did this expedition launch late for PlayStation and Xbox users alike, but it comes with a myriad of bugs. Plus, on top of all that, you cannot complete this new expedition. With this expedition, it lasts for roughly about 5 weeks, and that's pretty standard across the board with previous expeditions. I hope you are good at math, because you are going to need math skills in order to progress through the expedition storyline. Having a look in the expedition tab, you can see it still uses the phases model, where it has a 1 to 5 phases, as with prevalent with other expeditions already, has used the exact same technique, where you have to complete phases 1 through 5 in order to complete the whole expedition. Now, this video won't particularly spoil anything within the expedition if you've not played it. So first of all, let's talk about the milestones. Now, there are an absolute butt ton of milestones for each phase to complete, and each phase usually takes anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes depending on what phase it is you're trying to do. For me, playing through each milestone felt very repetitive, as a very good portion of each mission was pretty much just a fetch quest. The bugs within this expedition at points made it very unplayable, with having to turn on and off multiplayer multiple times in order to circumvent issues, and even having to quit out entirely to then launch the game back up again. One of the milestones, called Rampancy, should have only been around about a 2 to 3 minute quest, but it actually turned out to be one of the biggest headaches I have experienced in any expedition thus far. The quest in itself shouldn't have been very difficult to complete. It was to go to a distant planet, which are absolutely filled throughout of No Man's Sky universe, and go to any of them, and just to kill 19 corrupted sentinels. And again, that is a fairly easy task. The problem lies is where the game is completely bugged out for this mission, as it takes you hours and hours and hours to get lucky in order to trigger an actual swarm event of these corrupted sentinels. For me personally, I went to about 4 or 5 different planets of distant planets to try and find corrupted sentinels, and every single time I only got normal sentinels, not the corrupted variants, which ultimately then allowed me not to continue through the storyline until I finally managed to trigger it. And again, it took a lot of turning multiplayer on and off, coming out the game, going back in the game, just to try and trigger the right sentinels, even though I was doing everything correctly. The next thing I want to touch base on is the visor. So when you land on a planet, it'll give you a rough location to land. You go ahead and land, and then you use your visor to target where it is you need to go to. However, it doesn't directly take you to that specific location. Instead, what it'll do is it'll take you on the longest possible route, and I don't even mean going from, for example, if someone's all to your left, it won't just take you left. In fact, what it'll end up doing is taking you on a small adventure, rather than just taking you directly to the location. It is incredibly frustrating. Now, I think this was by design to try and stretch out the quest line as long as possible, but that is just wasting the user's time in my opinion. For this particular run, I started at my ship. I ended up going all the way over there to back down on myself, to then come over the ridge and then down to this location, rather than what it could have done is just taken me directly left and over the hill. Now, if this only happened to me once, I couldn't put it down to the game just being buggy and that's that. However, this happened every single time I used the visor from landing on a planet. Now, after spending half a day completing all the phases up to phase 5 and then completing most of the missions, I then realized that you couldn't actually progress past a certain point. One of the last milestones you'll need to complete for phase 5 is called Sentience Echo, which unfortunately cannot be completed as of yet. Now, this is a community-based effort, and there's no way to physically hand in what you go ahead and collect. Again, not giving away any spoilers here. For me, again, going through the entire expedition to have no avail at the end of it, even though I put in all my hard work and effort, and then I can't complete it, was a little bit of a downer. But over the course of the expedition itself, to wrap it up in a nutshell, is regardless of the bug issues, and regardless of the repetitive nature of the quests, I still had a lot of fun. Now, there was a lot of lore baked inside of this expedition, more so than any previous ones before it, which I really did appreciate. Now, I am hoping that the lore from this expedition will trickle its way into the main base game. But as you can see, we have new sentient things behind us. It's getting kind of crazy within the story at the minute, so I am all here for that. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts about this expedition in the comment section down below. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.